at ya! Boom! And I've got special guest today. We're brewing right here. Guy from just over the border. Come on over here. This little guy, Tiny here. I haven't seen him in a long time.
How's it going, everyone?
It's the Hockyplr! Wham!
Why did I agree to this? I have no idea why I agreed
All
to
his
this.
idea.
Actually, it wasn't. There's another special guest.
Come on in here.
Oh, wow. This is really cool. I like your camera, man. That's awesome.
Did you get a good shave there?
We got Immolateus in the house.
Immo!
Or in the garage. Something like that.
At least it's not 25 degrees here anymore. It's warmed up. So we'll take it.
Yeah, we've been shooting the shit here for about an hour.
We will eventually brew, but I think we're going to drink some more.
Actually, it's 31 degrees.
It's nice and cozy.
Yeah, it's nice and cozy.
By the way, what are we brewing today?
I call it test batch 1. I don't know, I just threw it together.
We're not going to talk about how long it took to get the flame going or discuss any of that. If you want to know about that, watch Hockey's channel. We're not discussing that here. Well, I hope you enjoyed that brief intro. As you could see, we had a fun time on Saturday. And we had, of course, Hockyplr here and Immolateus, known to many of us just as Immo. What a treat to get. I've met Immo before when I was in Colorado with BH Brewing and several others. I won't go through all the names, but I have video of that. And also, of course, Hockyplr. You know I know Hockyplr. So that was quite a day. We drank quite a bit. I'm not proud to say I drank way far too much, which always seems to happen whenever I'm out with hockey. So that trend continued, and to be really frank with you, I haven't had anything to drink since last Saturday, and it is Wednesday that I'm recording, so I needed to take quite a break after that whole event. But today we have a lot of announcements, a lot of things, a lot of people I want to talk about. All right, so we're going to start off with beer mail. That's right, beer mail. I have some announcements, some things I definitely want to say, but I'm going to start off with a very exciting beer mail. I mean, this one, I'm just so honored. I can't believe it. I got a package from New Zealand, none other than from Grant Baker. So thank you, Grant. And truly, this is a treat. All right, so I have a note from Grant. It starts off like this. It says, "Hi, Kevin. Here's my entrant beer for the 2014 SJ4 experiment. All the other organizers got to try this, so it is only fair I send you a bottle to sample." So sure enough, here it is. This is the brewer's personal comment over here. A fortified dark American amber ale with a hint of Christmas pudding, smooth on the palate, with a blend of taste to sample as it warms. Wow, Grant Baker, CBO Baker Boys. So thank you very much. This one's 7.2%. Loving it, loving it. All right, there we go. That was the first part. Then he goes on to say, "I've included a couple other local NZ beers. One I selected and the other was selected by my wife, Christine. The Shipper's Chinook IPA she rates as one of New Zealand's best IPAs. So here it is, the Shipper's IPA. And it's nice looking little beer there. It's a fun label. Got the whole helicopter with the fish, and says it's a full-bodied IPA. It's 7.3%. So thank you, Grant. And then he sent me another one. This one looks pretty cool too. Here, take a peek at that one. Yeah, this one is Bamaye, if I'm pronouncing that. Bamaye Imperial Stout aged in Pinot Noir barrels. I mean, does it get any better than that? And this one is 16% ABV. So this is one serious heavy hitter. New Zealand Champion Brewery. So, wow. 8 Wired Brewing is the company that made it. 8 Wired Brewing. So take a look. Grant, wow, thank you. It's just what a delight to get these. I'm still blown away, and I wrote you that, and I still am, and I appreciate it so much. So wow, very good, cool, thank you. Oh yeah, as I'm putting these away, did you hear that? There's more. In my family, with my siblings and our children that are adults, all the siblings and our spouses, we put our names in a Christmas exchange, and so we draw a name, and then any of our adult children that want to participate can have their name thrown in too. And so of course Josh, Man Bear Pig, is part of that, and so he drew my name this year, or it was drawn for him. But so of course that means I got some beers from Josh. So check this out. They're both from Stone Brewing. The first one is the Vertical 11-11-11 that was aged in red wine barrels. And I heard that this is quite nice. I had the 11-11-11 just plain. It was okay. It was my thing, but I heard that this one in the red wine barrels is quite amazing. And the next one is an Imperial Black IPA aged in lowland Scotch barrels. So, I mean, I love me black, a good black IPA, but wow, aged in Scotch barrels. So these sound amazing. Thank you, Josh. Merry Christmas to me. I'm gonna have fun trying these. Now, I am gonna be trying a beer today too. I'm gonna be drinking a beer, and this one is a homebrew, and this one comes from Jamison Mockel. And so some of you saw that I tried his Westy 12 clone right around the holidays, and so this one is his King Share. So I'll be opening this one up. He wanted me to make sure I warmed it up amply, and I've been warming it for quite a while. So I'm going to get on with some announcements, and I'm going to come back to this. But before I get into the announcements, one brief thing I'm going to say. Some of you may have noticed just in the last day or two that good old Google through YouTube has taken away the access to get to your inbox for YouTube by going to the video manager. So right here's the link. You can go to youtube.com/inbox/. And I'll put a link down there. You can use that link, copy the link, but that's how you'll be able to get to your inbox. They're doing everything they can to lock us out of PMing. I don't know why they want to do that. Yeah, we do. We know. They want us to use Google+, which I'm sorry. I mean, I have it, it's there because I've been forced into it, but anyway, people do PM you and send messages, so the link's there. I'll have it on the about link below too, on the drop down. All right, so moving on to more important announcements. First, I need to say congratulations to Matt at Mad Bomber Brewing. I'm still waiting for the details. I've sent him a note, but he's gonna be a busy man. He's a pilot, if you don't know that. And he just had a new, I believe, son, probably around the end of December, right after Christmas. So congratulations, Matt. Look forward to hearing more about that, maybe getting a picture of your son, but congratulations to you. That's exciting news. And so as we're along those same lines, I have a personal announcement. As you know, I just had another grandchild this December. That Colin had his second, so made 3 for me. And my daughter called me up on Sunday to say, guess what, Dad? So that's right. So number 4 bun in the oven. Number 4 grandchild is on its way. Oh my God. I think of the hairs that were still dark, half them turned gray on Sunday. I'm just telling you. But oh well, here we go again. We've got another one coming, and she's due in September. So, wow, exciting times. Kids, slow down. You know, it's okay. But all right. So, wow, grandchild number 4 working its way here. Other things I wanted to mention, I wanted to send out a big shout out to CQ. Big CQ01 has announced that he just did his last Homebrew Wednesday, and he's been fighting weight issues, and so he's just come to the conclusion that he just cannot lose weight while doing Homebrew Wednesdays. So he's working on some big lifestyle changes. And so CQ, you know, I support you in that. I've been pondering these same things, you know, for some time now. So I just want to say I'm here to support you and look forward to seeing your videos on food and other types of things, and I'll be there right behind you. I look forward to that. Also, too, another person who is stepping down at this point is Sofa King Drunk. And so he, too, is taking a sabbatical. He just announced recently. He, too, needs to lose weight and needs to get more healthy. And he has a goal to do this walk. I forget the name now, but it's about 150 kilometers in Scotland. That's far out goal for him, but it's a bucket list thing. So Sofa King Drunk, hey man, again, I'm right there behind you. So that kind of leads me to my own announcement. It's not going to be quite as dramatic and quite as immediate, but I have made the decision that I'm going to start tapering out of doing beer reviews, at least commercial beer reviews. It's been a fun run, and I've been doing them not quite 2 years, but pretty close to that at this point. We did our first Homebrew Wednesday in February of 2012, and I think the first beer review, commercial beer review, in March. So I'm just shy of the 2-year mark on doing commercial beer reviews. I have a lot of beers that people have sent me that have asked me to review that I do need to review, but some of you probably noticed I haven't pumped out a beer review in a week. I do have some of the can I need to edit and get out there, but the direction I'm going to shift is right back into home brewing. I do need to reduce my beer intake. There's no question about that. And I'm not a huge beer consumer. I drink a beer a day usually, sometimes two. The problem is with beer reviews, some of those are some pretty heavy hitter beers, and Christian hasn't been around to do those reviews with me. So anyway, so we're going to be slowly phasing out of that. The problem is I probably have, Lord, my wife's downstairs, she's going to be moaning. I probably have enough beer set aside to be doing reviews for a year. But I heard kind of a laugh and probably a moan and downstairs, but I'm sure that I do. But it's not going to be at the pace. And so some of the decisions for that are health, there's no question, and time. Time's a big one. And let's face it, I've been pumping out almost every Wednesday, Homebrew Wednesday, as well as on the low end 2 beer reviews and the upper end 4, and on a rare occasion 5 beer reviews in a week. And so when you consider not just the consumption of beer, but when you consider the amount of time that it takes to edit all those videos, that's a lot of time. It's been like a second job, truly. It's been almost really like a second job, or a part-time job at least. And that plus the cost. Let's admit it, it's been kind of an obsession buying these amazing beers and receiving some amazing beers. So I will start only going through the beers that I have. It's going to be really hard for me not to acquire anything else, but that's indeed what I have to do. Also, too, monetarily, it's been a huge cost and investment. So I need to put my money in other places. Enough said on that, but I got to buy a new car, you know. So I mean, all these things. So I'm going to be slowing down on that. I'm going to be spending more time hiking. I might, although that's going to be hard on the editing side, but I might on occasion throw up some video, maybe on Homebrew Wednesday or separate, of doing some of the hiking, because we have some beautiful places, and I need to spend more time out hiking and doing something that's really one of the loves of my life that I've been doing since I was a young man, is doing hiking. And that's something Mrs. Clements Homebrew and I both want to do more of, is get out and do more hiking again. We look forward to that. So kind of changing a little bit of the direction. Also, too, I think as I reduce doing commercial beers, I will, and having less beer around, commercial beers, then I'll actually do a little more brewing and more experimenting. And I think that's why I got into all this in the first place, was Homebrew Wednesday. So for some of you are going, oh gosh, Kevin, and some of you are saying, Yeah, good. Brew more beer, but I will slow down as a whole. I do want to emphasize, though, that while I'm going to wind down, and again, it might take a year, but as I'm going to wind my way out of doing commercial beer reviews, I am more than happy to review homebrews. More than happy to review homebrews. To me, that's just exciting, seeing what people put out there and some amazing stuff. So I do need to say, though, with that, though, some huge, huge thank yous. I really do. I've got to thank a lot of people. One, I've got to thank subscribers in general, people who watch, people who have subscribed. It's been amazing. I checked just before I did this video. We have 597 subscribers. I would have never guessed that. You know, my original goal was to get to 100, and I thought if I ever made it to 300, man, woo! But we're almost at 6 now, and that'll happen. And also, too, we've got almost 52,000 views. That's just ridiculous. But thanks for watching, you know? I don't understand. Wow, that was enough announcements for me. I think it's time for homebrew. It's time to get into Jamison's beer. All right, this is my cheesy label. This isn't Jamison's. He just had the gold wax on top. I'll fight through that in a minute. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I've got here. This is his King's Share. King's Share. He has a couple videos out on this, and I will have some links to his videos. He completed this beer on November 7th of 2012, so it's over a year old. It is a French oak aged English barley wine with rye, and in fact 29% of the malt bill is rye. That's quite unique. It's 11.5%, so I'm quite excited to try this. His Westy 12 just blew me away. I've been warming it for a good while, but look at this. Pouring out, I tell you what, you know, it pours out, it makes me think of, at first it made me think of scotch or something. But wow, okay, I just did have some effervescence come off the bottom. Not a lot of head, but I mean, this was oak aged, it's 11.5%. It's not exactly clear, but it's like a brown with some orange hues coming through it, maybe a hint of red, but I'd say more towards the orange and brown hues. All right, let's get a nose on this one. Oh my God, I'm gonna be in trouble with this one. I'll have to take it slow. This has a lot of amazing aromas. The first thing I got, though, was like this nice sweetness, a nice caramel sweetness, and I mean a rich caramel sweetness, along with dark fruits coming off of it, raisin right off the top. It is rich, 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 rich. You do get the oak, and it's like and I'm getting almost like candied fruits off of it too. Yeah, like, you know, makes me think of the sugar plums kind of a thing. Wow, and it's the caramel on it. You get some toffee too, but the caramel on it, because the sweet, dark fruits on it just comes across extremely rich. You do smell some alcohol on it as well, of course. The original gravity on this was 1.105, so he must have really attenuated it down to have such a high ABV. All right, well, anyway, it smells really great. An English barley wine on French aged oak with a load of rye. Here we go. Oh my God. That just hit the bottom of the tank, let me tell you. That's nice. It's a low carbonation, which is just fine, but there is just a load of flavor. I mean, that oak, that French oak, is just really permeates. It is very much there and present, but not overpowering. Actually, I'm picking up more of it on the back now, and I am picking up some of the hops on that as well. So I get a little bit of bitterness on that. I know that Jamison said that he didn't perceive any of the rye on it. I think I do, though. I think it comes across in some of those flavors. You know, there's just a little bit of bite. There's just a little bit of rye bite, but there's, and there probably should be with as much rye as you put into this Jameson, but mostly because there's just a lot of sweet flavors and just a lot of that French oak in this. Wow. Okay, I'm going to take a moment with this and I'll come back. I'm going to recap. I missed something that I picked up on the nose. And that was vanilla. There's vanilla on this. So, quick recap, you've got like caramel, toffee, you've got the vanilla, of course, oak, a lot of oak. Oak forward, oak backwards. I mean, there is oak on this. You've got sweetness on the nose. Pick that up right away. As far as like dark fruits go, I mean, you've got raisin on there. Raisin is probably the strongest on it. You've got, I don't know if I said before, you've got some date on it. You've got what I consider to be candied plums on there. But I'd say the raisins are the stronger of dark fruits. And then that sweetness comes through and a lot of oak. In the taste, it's a lot of those same things. Again, the oak's very strong. You've got the vanilla, the caramel, the raisins, the date, a little bit of the candied plums, but you've got a really nice sweetness on this. The carbonation is low on this one, and I'd say that it's smooth. It's lightly like slick, oily on it. A lot of tannins coming through from the oak. No question about that. I would say that oak or combination of hops is just a tad high, just a tad. You could put a little less oak or a little bit less hops. I'd probably go with a little bit less oak. It's very, very oaky, but you know what? This is a beer to be proud of. I mean, seriously, this is a beer to be proud of. This beer is reminiscent to me of an older age of being in England, sitting down in a room, and I've read stories about this, where you had Winston Churchill with C.S. Lewis and Tolkien in a room, smoking cigars, drinking brandy. I have to admit, I like a good cognac or brandy. I really do. Wonderful stuff. And this to me falls into that kind of an area. I can see guys just sitting back, sipping on this, dipping the back side of the cigar, puffing it. It's a wonderful barley wine. Jameson, you did. If I'd had, I'd be taking it off right now because you really are a great brewer. I hope you let some bottles sit down for a while longer and see what happens in another year. You know, it is such an honor for me to get to drink things from like Jamison Mockel and HBW85 and Lermo, and from people from overseas like New Zealand, like Paul, like Grant, or going over to the UK. And I've had many people, you know, we're not just talking about Harry here. We're talking about Ben and the other guys, you know. I had their beers. And I don't mean to miss on any names, but I've been really blessed. I've been really fortunate to try so many beers. Yes, I'm going to slow down on the commercial beer reviews. That's for my own health and to live wisely and my cost. Because guess what? Home brewing reduces cost, and you too can learn to brew like Jamison Mockel and others, and like Ryan Rashawn, like HBW85, like Lermo, on and on and on. I mean, we have some amazing people amongst us that brew some amazing beers. And I am so honored to be among all of you to have joined in to this collection, this worldwide collection of people. And what a grand thing it is. All right, I may or may not show some more footage of brewing with with Hockyplr and Immo, but from me, truly from my heart, I want to say thank you for this last year, for 2013, 2012, and we'll see where this takes us. I enjoy your friendship. I enjoy your comments and getting to know you all. This is Kevin from Clements Homebrew saying Happy Homebrew Wednesday. We'll see y'all next week, maybe. Cheers.
So I brought a bunch of beers to share with you guys, or for you people in YouTube land, Hockyplr and Clements. And brought these up from where I live in California. Mammoth, California is my most local brewery. And from left to right here, we've got Paranoid's Pale Ale. It has a citrusy, orange blossomy type of smell to it. It's a really good pale ale. It's my favorite beer out of the lot here, simply because you can drink it morning, noon, night, summer, winter, fall. You can take it over to people's houses who like, ales or lagers
morning,
or whatever.
noon, or night, really.
And it's just a real good all-around beer. Works for, watching the football game or just, whatever.
I can't wait for that one, actually.
It's really good. Real McCoy Amber Ales, got a nice roasty toastiness to it. It's an amber style beer, a little bit more dry, a little bit more sweet. It's actually the lightest bodied beer that Mammoth makes. Just happens to be darker in color. The Wild Sierra Mountain Farmhouse Saison Ale, says it right there on the bottle, is a interesting beer in that it's made with 3 different kinds of yeast: a Belgian yeast, a Saison yeast, and a Pinion pine needle yeast harvested from local Pinion pine needles. It's got like a lemon zesty kind of a tone. It's a really good summertime beer. I love this one. 7.5%, doesn't taste like it at all. The Double Nut Brown Porter, this got the gold medal at San Diego's World Beer Cup in 2012 for the porter category. It's got a lot of chocolate and coffee tones in it. Layer of the Bear is a Russian Imperial Stout aged on a bourbon oak barrel. That's a really good beer. I brought that up for hockey so that we could compare it against his VBOC. So that's sort of the commercial version of what he was making.
I'm gonna die.
The Epic IPA, great IPA, kind of along the lines of like a Lagunitas. Got a lot of grapefruity tones to it. It's a really good IPA. I really like that one. Owens Valley Wet Harvest. Every year Mammoth Brewing Company does a wet harvested ale where they take the hops right off the vines, throw them in the boil kettle. They don't dry them or cure them or anything. And the Wet Harvest Ale this year happens to be a black IPA. It's got some nice coffee tones in it. The Devil's Postpile is probably the most interesting beer that they make. It's a hot rock beer. I love the bottle artwork on that one. That's really cool. Basically, they take basalt lava rocks, they heat them up with propane torches. They get those rocks up to about 600 degrees, and then they throw it in the boil kettle. And in Mammoth, the altitude is 8,000 feet where the brewery is. So water boils around 197, and when they take that 600 degree lava rock, throw it in the boil kettle, it cools off from 600 degrees to 197 where water boils, and it kind of caramelizes sugars as it cools down that don't normally caramelize. So it has like a residual sweetness to it that's really cool. And although it has 70 IBUs, 7.5% alcohol, it doesn't perceive as an IPA. It perceives as a pale ale because it's balanced with all the sugars and malts behind it. So that's really cool.
Wait, how many bottles are left of this?
There's like 5 of them in my fridge. They discontinued it. So
in other words, he's saying there's only
that's
6
the last
bottles left in the world, and he owns all 6.
So if you want a bottle, they go for about $400 range, and we'll auction them off.
I think he's lowballing myself.
Yeah,
I was thinking more like 4,000.
And then these last 2, the Estate is a homegrown ale that Sierra Nevada does. I haven't had it. I just saw it. It looked interesting. I brought it.
Good.
And then the Einstock Icelandic White Ale, all the way from Iceland. That stuff's awesome. I saw 1 bottle of it on the local shelf, and I thought I'd bring it up so everybody could try it. So, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I don't have a beer.